What's up, guys? Jordan back with the deck box. We're here with another deck profile, and tonight we're going to be looking at what has become probably my favorite deck in Pokemon TCG right now, and that is Tapu Bulu. Okay, so we're going to be looking a lot at this card, how it runs, and why it's so good right now. So real quick, this card, it's Tapu Bulu GX. He is a basic GX, has 180 HP. Has 3 attacks. First, the Horn Attack with for 1 grass energy does 30 damage. Next, we have Nature's Judgment for 2 grass and 1 colorless. You do 120 damage base, but if you discard all your energy from this Pokemon, you will do an additional 60 damage, adding up to 180. Last, we have the Tapu Wilderness GX for 2 grass and a colorless as well. We do 150 damage, and we get to heal all the damage from this Pokemon. So we're going to be looking at the deck that this kind of fits in. And how it runs. So first we're going to start with our Pokemon list, and of course we do play 3 Tapu Bulu GXs. You can get those in the tins right now, guys. So you get those plus what is it, 4 packs. So not a bad deal. Kind of makes them very inexpensive. So that also makes this slightly budget friendly. So then next we do play 3 Grubbin, 1 Charjabug, and 3 Vikavolt for that energy acceleration engine that we have. Play 1 copy of the Tapu Koko promo with that flying flip attack, and in this deck he may also get to use his electric ball attack that we do not see a whole lot of. Also, he has free retreat, which is great. Next, we do play 1 copy of Tapu Koko GX. This one's the promo, does the same as the one you can get in the packs, just a little bit easier to obtain this one. So we do play 1 of those, play 1 copy of Oranguru, and then last we do play 2 copy of Tapu Lele. So we're going to run through these Pokemon, why they're important to this deck, and how they're going to help us win matches. So, we've already talked about our main attacker, Tapu Bulu. And the main thing we want to look at with Tapu Bulu is actually his Nature's Judgment attack, doing 120, and then discarding the energy, bumping it up to 180. So at first, I kind of looked at this card and thought, not too good, because, you're having to get rid of the energy. How are you going to get it back on? You can't just pull energy from the discard pile and put it straight on. However, we have Vikavolt, which actually came out in the set prior to that. You can also get this as a promo. This is a deck filled with promos. You got Promo Bulu, Promo Vikavolt, Promo Koko GX. So that kind of makes these cards very easy to obtain. So I would highly suggest it to anyone who's looking for a fun deck to play that's also very good and easy to obtain. So anyway, back to this card. Vikavolt has that strong charge ability where once during your turn before you attack, you can search your deck for a grass energy and a lightning energy card and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like, then shuffle your deck. So what's great is this ability stacks. So if we get multiple Vikavolts out there, we can start attaching to our Pokemon however we want. We can split those up. They don't have to go to the same Pokemon. And then we can just have multiple Pokemon up and ready to run. So pretty similar to, okay, not entirely similar, but has some similarities to Metagross GX. Metagross grabs energy from the discard to attach, but it can only attach to the active. Vikavolt is a little bit better in the sense that you can grab 2 energy and attach them to whatever Pokemon you like. So the difficult part is you have to make sure you have energy in your deck, and we will talk about that a little bit later. So we do run the 3-1-3 line. Of course, we have rare candies to replace our Charjabugs. Tapu Koko, pretty self-explanatory. The flying flip will help our Tapu Bulu to hit some of the proper numbers a little bit later on, and that free retreat is also great to have. Next, we do play 1 copy of Tapu Koko GX. This deck runs both grass and lightning energy, and because of that, we can include this guy, and it's really great. He has that ability, Arrow Trail. Sorry, let me get kind of a zoom in here. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may move any number of lightning energy from your other Pokemon to this Pokemon. If you do, switch this Pokemon with your active Pokemon. So this is a card that you don't have to set it up. You just have to have your other Pokemon set up, bring this guy out, and you get an automatic switch. You can put him in the active and automatically put your 3 energy on to do his attacks, which are as follows. Sky High Claws, 2 lightning energy, and a colorless, does 130 damage. And then Tapu Thunder GX, same energy cost, does 50 damage times the number of damage attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. So I like to look at this one, honestly, as a good Gardevoir counter for one attack. It helps you catch up a little bit. So if I'm going up against Gardevoir, I want to hold off on my GX attack and use Tapu Koko, because Gardevoir is going to be stacking energy, and all it takes is 5 energy or 4 energies in a choice band on Koko to be able to one-shot a completely healed Gardevoir. So you do want to save that. Preferably make it like a surprise attack and come out there and just start taking some knockouts. Plus, in the Volcanion matchup, if they do play Ho-Oh GX, you do have weakness against that. So it kind of helps in that matchup as well, since Bulu doesn't always hit the exact number he needs to take out a Ho-Oh. Next, we do play 1 copy of a Oranguru just to draw extra cards. A lot of times this deck, it plays a lot of items, so it's able to burn through stuff pretty easily. So we're able to shrink our hand size down, and so we use Oranguru to just keep it built up occasionally. It's end proof, it's delinquent proof. If our hand size gets too low, we can just draw some more cards and keep flowing through our deck. Last, we do play 2 Tapu Lele. Doesn't need too much explaining. We play it for that Wonder Tag ability. Plus, at times it does come in handy. If you're in a tight spot, you can use your Vikavolts to accelerate energy onto this and use its energy drive attack. So that is our lineup of Pokemon. You can see how there's a lot of synchronization with them. The Vikavolts, of course, help to fuel the energy to attach to the Bulu. And what's great about Bulu, he doesn't have the weakness to fire. He has no weakness, he has no resistance, so he doesn't have to deal with bad matchups based on weakness. However, he does hit weakness on opposing Pokemon, so he can take down those big water Pokemon for us. And additionally, you have Vikavolt to attack as a 1 prize attacker, so it can take on things. It can take on some big basic GXs that have about 180 HP. If you attach a choice band, it can one-shot those. It can also take on things like the new Alolan Ninetales. I'm not going to stop talking about it. Has that ability that stops EXs and GXs from being able to attack it, along with the new Hoopa coming out in Shining Legends. And then, of course, Tapu Koko hits for the lightning weakness as well. So 2 different weaknesses in one deck is always a good thing to have. Next, we are going to move on to our item count. We are playing, for our ball support, we have 2 Ultra Ball, 2 Heavy Ball, and 1 Nest Ball. Next, we do play 3 Fighting Fury Belts. This is a big basic deck, so we play 3 of those. We play 3 Rare Candy to get our Vikavolts up and running. 2 Choice Band, just as an alternative to Fighting Fury Belt, depending on what numbers we're needing to hit in the matchup. Next, we do play 2 Field Blowers. I'd prefer to bump this to 3 because this deck is so reliant on abilities. However, just couldn't quite find the space for a 3rd, so I may have to tweak this deck a little bit, have some fun with it, and maybe we'll come to a good count. But we need to keep our abilities online with Vikavolt, and then even Oranguru, we need that, and Tapu Lele, of course, and then Tapu Koko GX with that Arrow Trail ability to just come in and swing can be very critical in certain matchups. So we want to keep our abilities online. So we play those to deal with Garbotox and Garbodor. Next, we have some 1-ofs with Escape Rope. 1 switch. We do have heavy retreat costs in this deck. Our Bulus have 3, our Vikavolts have 3, our Chargebugs have 3. So just a lot of Pokemon that have a 3 retreat cost. That's why we keep those around. We don't play Floatstone. We typically will use one of these, Guzma, or just discard the energy because we can get it back a little bit later with this next card, Energy Recycler. And this helps us, of course, to cycle through our energy. We are going to be discarding it when we attack most often. So eventually you do start to run low on energy in your deck. So what's great to do is once you get 5 energy in your discard, you can play an Energy Recycler, put your energy back into your deck, and then Vikavolt can start attaching again. Back to the ball count. I know we didn't really talk about this too much. We play the 2 Ultra Ball, obviously, for Lele, Grubbins, our Kokos, and Oranguru. The 2 Heavy Ball, like I mentioned, there's a lot of heavy retreat Pokemon. We have Bulu, Vikavolt, Chargebug, and of course, Vikavolt and Bulu are our 2 main Pokemon in this deck, so that's why we play 2 of those. And then, of course, Nest Ball pretty much searches for everything else in the deck. We don't want to use Nest Ball for Lele. It wouldn't activate its its ability. Same thing with Koko GX. We do not want to use Nest Ball for that because its ability would be useless. So this is for our Grubbins, our Baby Koko, and a Rangaroo. So we do play 5 ball searches, just with some diversity in them. And we play the heavier Fighting Fury belt up here because obviously it's a big basic deck. We're going to be adding that 40 HP, putting Tapu Bulus and Tapu Kokos up to that 210, 220 respectively. So they're about stage 1 level. And they do that additional 10 damage. Doesn't always make a difference. However, Bulu can then one-shot a Ho-Oh, can one-shot a Turtonator, and so on. But depending on what we're facing, we may choose to play the Choice Bands instead of the Fury Belts, just so we can bump from 180 to 210, taking out nearly every stage 1 other than, let's see, I believe it would be, what is it, Alolan Muck with 220, which we're not seeing a ton of play out of that. And then I believe the next, the Gyarados GX that's coming out in Crimson Invasion will have 240. So that's a big, beefy stage 1. I could be incorrect about that, maybe 220, but I feel like it's 240. So it's not going to be able to take care of Pokemon like that. However, that is why we play Koko, to take down the lightning weak Pokemon such as Gyarados. Next, we're going to get to our supporter counts. We only play 2 Professor Sycamore and 2 N. I believe I got this count from John Roberts' list that he piloted, excuse me. And so, at first I decided, go with it, see what it's like, see if it works, because it seems so low. Normally we see 3 or 4, especially with VS Seeker gone. However, the more I think about it, the more I realize we don't need draw support as much in this deck, because the main thing we're looking for is our energy. And we don't just need to look for it to attach it. We're able to attach it with our ability and search for it, getting an extra 2 attachments per turn. So we're blowing through our deck a lot faster, and we're not going to need to dig as much, because since we're taking our energy out of the deck, we're going to be drawing into our supporters, into our items, into our Pokemon, and so on. So that's why we play those 2 count for now, and it actually so far has not been a bad count. I'm actually really enjoying it. It's different. I would not suggest it for every deck. However, it does work with this one, since we have things like a Rangaroo and we have Vikavolt that digs for our energy for us. Next, we play 3 Skyla. This is my favorite kind of Skyla right now, so we can dig for those rare candy. And in these decks that require stage 2s, you need to get your rare candies out. So if we have a heavy count of Skyla, turn 2, we should be setting up at least 1 Vikavolt. And as long as we get our turn 2 Vikavolt, we are in for a good matchup, despite whatever deck we may be playing against. Okay, this deck doesn't, in my testing, it doesn't have too many bad matchups, and it's because of the speed and acceleration of energy, and like I said, the lack of weakness from Bulu and Koko. Next, we do play 1 Bridget. It is kind of a low count. I know some people play 2 just to have a better chance and less likely to prize it, because we do need to get our 3 basics out on turn 1. So we do play that 1 Bridget for that reason. However, we do have an alternate just in case we do prize it. We play 1 Pokemon Fan Club, and the reason we opt to play this over a second Bridget is because this can also work late game for us, and what we use it for is to search our deck for 2 basics, and then we put them into our hand. We do not put them straight onto our bench. So this allows us to search for things like Tapu Koko GX, whose ability is not activated unless it comes from your hand, or Tapu Lele. So preferably what you can do is you can Fan Club, grab a Koko GX, grab a Lele GX, play down the Koko, start swinging with it in the active, and then next turn you'll have a Lele in hand, unless you're end, which, if they end you get a fresh hand. Really doesn't make a difference. If you have a low hand size, a Rangaroo is going to pull you right back up. So preferably what will happen is you will have Lele in your hand. At the beginning of your next turn, you can dig for whatever supporter you need, whether it's a Guzma, Skyla, and Sycamore, you name it. Next, we're going to be looking at Brock's Grit. I thought about playing another Energy Recycler. However, I do need a way to get Pokemon back. We do not play Rescue Stretcher in this deck, so Brock's Grit is our way to get an additional 6 Pokemon and or energy out of our discard pile. So we play it more for the energy, because you can get that heavy amount. However, in a tight spot, if we need Pokemon back, we can use Brock's Grit for that, just to get them cycled back into our deck for some reason. However, we're going to do our best not to discard those. We only play 2 Ultra Balls, so the chances of getting rid of a bunch of Pokemon is not likely. Last, we do play 2 Guzma, pretty self-explanatory. We can get some easy KOs, maybe bring up a Tapu Lele or something like that, take an easy one-shot with our Bulus just to get ahead in the prize trade. And if we can do that, I mean, we have our 2 Guzma, that gives us 2 opportunities to do something like that, or just to get a Pokemon out of the active that shouldn't be up there. So that is why we play those. Those are our supporter counts. Next, we're going to move on to our stadiums, and I'm glad we're getting used to this card so everyone has the opportunity to take 10 minutes to say the name, and that is Aether Paradise Conservation Area. This allows for your basic grass Pokemon and basic lightning Pokemon, both ours and our opponents, to take 30 less damage from opponents' attacks. And I have seen this come in clutch in some matches. The opponent thinks they have it, they swing, and then it's like, oh, nope, you're short by 30. This is really great, and this allows us to be able to take hits a lot more. We have Bulu's GX attack where he can heal, so if you're able to do this and get up to that, you know, maybe they're going to be swinging for 200, but they only hit you for 170 because of this. Bulu's still alive, and he's getting the best usage out of his GX attack as possible. So really great. On top of that, what this allows you to do, you know, we do play those Fury Belts to add 40 HP. However, if we need a Choice Band, we're adding 30 damage, but we can play this as well to give us 30 HP additional. So it kind of doubles up as an HP boost while you can still be taking the damage boost with your Choice Bands. Last, we're going to look at the energy count. We do play 7 grass energy. This is mainly a grass deck, although it has some, or actually quite a bit of lightning in it. It mainly focuses on grass. And then we do play 5 lightning energy. The reason, of course, is we do play Vikavolt. Vikavolt's going to dig for 1 grass, 1 lightning, and this gives you the opportunity to do that 5 times, and you have 2 grass left over because that is more what you need. And then, of course, once you've blown through those, you can use your energy recycler, you can use your Brock's Grit, get those back into your deck, start all over, and just keep things flowing. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this this deck profile. I'm looking forward to showing you guys the tabletop match with this. I think it's a really good matchup for Bulu that we're going to show. And it'll be interesting seeing these 2 decks go toe-to-toe. And so let me know, guys, what you think of Bulu. Hit up the comments, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Tell your friends about us. You know, we are a new channel. I'd like to call us a growing channel. So far, so good. We're loving it. We're loving getting to have the interaction with you guys and getting these videos out. Just sharing our love of the game, really. So with that, I will close this video out. We'll see you guys next time on the deck box, where we want to know what's in your box. Thanks, guys.